Morning, it's Audrey, Stitchy42. I'm back. Have you missed me? It's been about a month since I did a video. Did I say what today's date was? July 9th. Yeah. It's been about a month since I did a video. My stitching bug, my stitching muse, went walkabout. Just disappeared and I didn't do anything. So the last little video I had done was where I made my needle case. And I did that on a Thursday. The next day was Friday, and I drove up to my sister's house up in Ridgefield, Washington, and spent a couple hours stitching with her and visiting with her and my niece Rachel. And then it took 4 hours for me to get home. Ridgefield is an hour and a half away from me. It took 4 hours for me to get home. So when I got home, I was kind of wiped out and I didn't do any more stitching. The next day, Saturday, I work weekends. I have not been taking my stitching with me to work because it has just been so busy on the weekends that I haven't had any time. And instead, I kind of got wrapped up in a new to me Harry Potter fan fiction story. So when I got home Saturday evening, I was reading instead of stitching. And Sunday, when I got home from work, I was reading instead of stitching. And Monday, on my day off, I was reading instead of stitching. I wasn't watching any floss tube. This story sucked me in. And about Monday afternoon, I started thinking about it, and I thought, I don't have anything to share. So I didn't do a video. I went on to Facebook and I said, hey, my stitching muse has kind of disappeared. I'm not watching anything. I'm not stitching anything. So I'm just going to take a break. Had a couple people contact me. Is everything okay? Everything was fine. Absolutely nothing wrong with me. I just wasn't stitching. It happens. So a few days goes by and I was on Facebook and I was looking through all the different pictures of what everybody else is posting, and I get to Amy DeVille, her group, the Stitchers Coven, and here is a post that she and Michelle Cozy Egg, you know, I love it that we all identify ourselves now with our name and our floss tube name. You know, it's Amy from Amy DeVille and Michelle from Cozy Egg, and it's Audrey Stitchy42, and yeah. Anyway, they were talking about the Primitive Hare and the freebies for the pagan Sabbats. And I thought, well, you know, I'm going to go check that out, because while that's not really something that interests me in stitching, I don't do things with the months on them, and I don't do things with the seasons on them. Will I do anything with the Sabbats on them? I don't know. Let's go check it out. So I went there and found a couple that I liked. Litha was one of them, Midsummer, or Summer Solstice. And I downloaded it, and I think I may have downloaded Yule, not sure, don't remember. But I got to the end of the freebie patterns on the Primitive Hare site, and I found this one that spoke to me. Kitchen is the witch's lab. And I thought, how true is that? How true is that? We're in our kitchen. That's my island, where my stove is at. Whoop, go that way, right there. And there have been times when I've been cooking dinner, either for a family gathering or just for regular dinner, and you're sitting there stirring in the pot, stirring your cauldron, and give a silent thanks for having a home, having food, being able to nourish my family. So that pattern, kitchen is the witch's lab, spoke to me. And I thought, okay, I can do this. And I downloaded it, and I went upstairs and I found a scrap of murky to stitch it on because I thought that would be perfect. And then I went to choose what flosses to use, and Jen, Maui Jen, Dark Side Stitcher, she had gifted me a while back with 3 different Victorian motto flosses. The Old Salem Spell, Clothed in Purple, and Just Orange. And I thought those would be perfect for it. I ended up adding a 4th color. I added Weeks Dye Works Lemon Chiffon. And I thought, okay, I can get this stitched up because this pattern is going to take a day. And that'll get me stitching again, right? No. Didn't work that way. I got maybe 24 stitches in it and wasn't feeling it. So I set it aside and I went and did something else. And I came back the next day and I tried to pick it up again and I got maybe 24 stitches in it. And I set it aside and I'm just like, what's wrong? Why don't I want to stitch? So I ignored it for a couple of days. And then I picked it up and I thought, you know, this is ridiculous. This is a small piece and I can get this finished. So I did. I sat down and I finished stitching that piece. Should have taken 1 day, took 4. I'm now going to push. I am going to finish it. And like I said, the saying on it, kitchen is the witch's lab. I want this in my kitchen. Do I want to make it into a flat mount or do I want to make it into a pillow? And since I have my cauldron with my other Halloween pillows sitting on the kitchen table, I thought, I'm going to do a pillow. I can sew. I can use a sewing machine. I am not a seamstress. I am never going to claim to be a seamstress. Because when it comes to sewing, I don't measure correctly. I don't follow the instructions properly. I have 2 examples of that to show you, and the pillow is one of them. So I found the fabric that I wanted to use to go on my pillow. I had some trim that I had bought at Michael's a while back, and I thought I'll use that too. And I took my cutting board downstairs and my rotary cutter and my fabric downstairs and zit, zit, I made 2 little cuts, and I've got the fabric for the back, the fabric to put on the front. I go upstairs and I sew the front piece to the stitched piece. And then I noticed my issue. You see, if you looked at the stitched piece and the fabric was this big, and the piece of fabric that I just stitched onto it, the contrasting fabric, was this big, see the issue? They didn't match up because I didn't measure. And I sat there and I looked at it and I looked at it and I thought, and I looked at it and I thought, I can do this. I can still make it into a pillow without having to take that off and redo it. And it worked. It's just that one edge has barely any seam allowance, but it's mine, okay? And on the finished piece, you don't see it. You can't see it here, but I have a pile of stuff here. I have a pile of stuff here. I have a pile of stuff here. So this is going to be kind of interesting to remember where I have things. But anyway, kitchen is the witch's lab. This is my contrasting fabric. This was where I cut it too short this way. But I think that this turned out really, really cute as a little pillow. Again, the Victorian motto, it's on 14 count, murky, Ada from Picture This Plus. and that was my finish. And the fabric that I use, Bubble Bubble, Toil and Troubles, Fire Burn, and Cauldron Bubble, because kitchen is the witch's lab. Yeah. So then I went back to doing nothing. No stitching, nothing. Wasn't watching Floss Tube. I just wasn't motivated to do anything. I have Witch on Duty. I finished it. I love it. I set it on my footstool. I moved it upstairs to the desk in the office. I brought it back downstairs. I put it on the footstool. When I brought down the cutting board to work on this one, I thought, oh, I can get this one cut out and I can get it ready to go because I have ideas in here of how I want to finish this. And it sat on the kitchen table for a week and a half. And then the 4th of July happened. And I had to move it. So I moved it over underneath the television where it's been sitting since the 4th. I don't know why I'm not motivated to do anything. But I am not motivated to do anything. I want to backtrack. My little needle case that I made, this was another thing that I didn't really follow the instructions. When I decided I wanted to do this, because this was a pattern, this was supposed to be a biscornu. It's supposed to be stitched 1 over 1, and I didn't do that. I stitched it 2 over 2. And it's supposed to be Harry Potter themed. These are supposed to be golden snitches, and these are supposed to be the banners for the different houses. And the only one that looks like anything is the snake. I can't tell what anything else. That might be a lion. Anyway, I wanted to make this. I went to YouTube. I found a video on how to make a needle case. The lady that did that video was making it out of fabric. So she gave dimensions. What dimensions to cut your fabric, what dimensions to cut the inside piece of felt, and then what sizes to cut the 2 inside pieces here. Since I was working off a stitched piece, I made my own dimensions. And then on my video, I put ribbon to tie it instead of doing a snap closure. Well, when I did my video, I laid down the fusible webbing on the inside, and then I laid the ribbon down. I had my stitch piece, I had the ribbon, and then I had the fusible webbing on top of it. I should have reversed those two. I should have put the fusible webbing down first, ironed it on, and then put the ribbon on between the fusible webbing and the brown felt. I'll know better next time. The other thing that she said in her video that I didn't do was trim the brown felt before you attach it to your case. So yeah, I trimmed it afterwards, and there's corners that are cut, and it works. It works. So those are my 2 fully finished pieces. Both of them had issues because I can sew, but I am not a seamstress. I kind of cheat and cut corners, and yeah. Oh well, it's what happens. So, coming up to the 4th of July, like I said, Witch on Duty has been floating around the house in different places waiting for me to do something. We're going to have family over for the 4th of July. Aaron and Chris and Rowan and Riley, my 2 youngest granddaughters, came over, and our son Philip. And my oldest granddaughter Raven stayed at home with their 2 dogs. Aaron and Chris have a 210-pound Mastiff named Bones, and then they have a little pit bull named Dobby. And Raven has social anxieties, so she felt more comfortable staying home with the dogs so that the dogs would have somebody to keep them calm, which keeps her calm. Would have loved to have had my granddaughter over, but I understand how she's feeling, so she wasn't there. Mark cooked on the Traeger. He cooked ribs, he cooked chicken, there was hot dogs, there was brats. I made a couple of salads, there was baked bean, there was corn on the cob, there was wine. It was good. And then after dinner was over, I looked at the granddaughters, Rowan and Riley, and I said, okay, it's your turn, you get to clean up the kitchen. I was joking. And they did it. I was joking. So the next day I was talking to Mark, and I said, you know, I was just joking when I told the girls that they had to clean up the kitchen. He goes, yeah. He goes, I was in the kitchen and I was wrapping up the leftover meat to put it away, and Riley, the 10-year-old, is standing there with her arms folded, staring at him. And he goes, is there a problem? And she goes, yes, there is. I have to clean up the kitchen and you're in my way. I love my girls. I love my girls so much. They cleaned the counter. They loaded the dishwasher. They did a great job loading the dishwasher. Oh my God, it was just absolutely crazy and funny, and it was a good day. But an even better day happened the next day. The next day was Thursday, July 5th. It was our meetup at Acorns and Threads. And wow. We were going to have some visitors this time, and a couple of our people weren't going to be there. Linda Jo wasn't there. She was in New York. Michelle, Bendy Stitchy wasn't there. They were still on their trip to visit their family in Michigan. In fact, they were flying home that night, and I guess they didn't get home until like 3 o'clock in the morning, Friday morning. Darlene wasn't there because she was off on a trip. So we were down 3 of our regular people. But we had 3 visitors. I got up there a little bit early and grabbed a spot. Janine's there. Jolynn was there. We're talking. We're chatting. And the door opens and I turn around and Christine stitches all the things. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, there was screaming and squealing, and it was fantastic. And then a couple other ladies came in. Colette, who has been with us a couple of times. She has a house here in Oregon. She also has a house in Utah. So when she's here, she's here. Michelle Marr, Romantic Tangle, was there. Michelle, Stitchy Shell 1988, was there. Lisa Smith, Kindred Stitcher, was there. She had a family reunion to go to later on, but she made sure that she got to come to our meetup because she's been missing the last couple ones. Retreats or some such thing, you know, whatever. Another Lisa, Miss Chief Stitch, she's been there a couple of times before. She was there. And then the door opened and I heard this laugh that I have only heard on Floss Tube. Turn around, and not only is there this laugh from the door, all of a sudden there's squeals from other people in the room. I think it was mostly Christine who was squealing. I wouldn't know for sure. But Holly and Anita walked in. Holly and Anita and Christine were at Acorns and Threads for our meetup. Oh my God. Oh my God. We had so much fun. We sat there and chatted and laughed and giggled. there was random songs that were sang by other people because I don't sing. It went by so fast, and it was so much fun. I tried to do a Linda Jo and do a video using my cell phone and my tripod and everything, and there's a little 4-minute video and a little 2-minute video that shows a little bit. Yeah, remote recording, not my forte. I'm going to leave it to Linda Jo, but she wasn't there, and I had to have it recorded. I had to be able to see it again. Seriously, I've watched those 2 little videos several times now just because I want to see Christine and Holly and Anita again and again and again. It was so much fun. So much fun. And there was shopping. I had taken up this pattern, which the ladies at Acorns and Threads, the meetup group, had gifted me for my birthday. She is a cute little witch, but I don't want to stitch it on a pale color fabric. So I went up and talked with Janine, and she helped me pick out this one. It's Maple Sugar. So I think she's going to look pretty fantastic on there. Have not kitted it up yet. I'm not stitching right now, but I'm buying stuff to stitch. I'm telling you, there's piles. The other thing that I took up that I wanted to get ready to stitch was a pattern that had been sent to me by Jay, Mortuary Stitches, and I will get into more of that in a little bit. But this one, Quaker Ghost. This is cute. This is so cute. Comes with 2 little buttons to finish it. And I got Lakeside Linen cedar plank. I also bought some glow-in-the-dark Krennic because I thought, I was talking with Jolynn, and we decided that using like B5200 and Krennic, that way you would be able to see the white during the day, but at night it would glow. So excited. So there was that. And I thought, okay, I'm done. You know, I bought, if you need a pattern and you don't know what the name of it is, you can talk to Janine and you can say, I saw this pattern on FlossTube because I did watch one day, and somebody had posted it and I thought, oh my God, that is so cute. Did not write it down. Did not write down the maker. Did not write down the FlossTube video that I had watched when I finally decided to watch, and I found this pattern. But I went up to Janine and I said, hey, there's this pattern. And she found it for me with minimal description. She found it for me. Scary one. I don't know who I saw doing this, but this little witch over here and this cauldron is just like, I had to have it. So I bought all the DMC to go with it. And I thought, that's it. This is my shopping done. I took my stitching up there with me, but I didn't stitch. I colored instead. Yeah, I go to a stitching meetup and I colored. Okay. On Facebook, I had seen this picture and it just really, really appealed to me. And since I haven't stitched for almost a month, I haven't wanted to, I thought, what the heck, I'm going to color. So I found this picture and I took it up with me and I sat there and I started coloring. I'm being creative and I'm talking with all these fabulous people. So it was good. It was all good. I did get one stitch in. Christine uses a laying tool, and I had seen those before, but I'd never seen how they actually were used. So she showed me how she was using them, and she says she stitches backwards. So I actually did get out the piece that I'd taken up to stitch on, and I did one stitch to compare how I stitch compared to how she stitches. Yeah, does that make sense? So if she does her first leg this way, I do my first leg this way. Doesn't make any difference. As long as they all lay the same direction on the finished piece, it doesn't matter. But it was interesting to see how she used the laying tool and how it works. She made a point that she always wears glasses when she uses the laying tool so she doesn't stab herself. Yeah, that would be a problem for me because my glasses are up on my head. I'm nearsighted. I wear them so I can see distance. When I'm reading, when I'm stitching, I don't have my glasses on, so I don't want to put a sharp pointy thing on the end of my finger because I will stab myself. We're not going to go there. So, visiting and talking, and people get up and they wander around the shop and they're going to look at things, and of course I had to do that because for as many times as I've been up to Acorns and Threads, and Linda Jo just did a video where she did a tour of Acorns and Threads. It's not a really big shop, but Janine has got a lot of stuff crammed in there in a very organized way that makes you twist and turn and walk around and see this and that. And she's always changing things, so where you found something here one time, it's going to be over here. So you have to go and you have to explore. You know I like ink circles. You know I liked my squiddlies. She has a basket of ink circles. And I saw this, and it was only half a pattern. And then I realized it's attached to another one with the other half of the pattern. Baltimore. Bats and pumpkins. And oh my God. I think I enabled Christine. Well, I know I enabled Christine because I took it over to show her and she was like, oh my God, where's that at? And we went over and she looked at it. I think Colette got the third copy. I'm not sure. But yeah. This is awesome. So yeah. I got some stitching therapy in. I haven't been stitching. I might as well buy stuff. You know? And then it was over, and I headed home. And I have never been to a retreat, but I was so happy, so high, so excited. The whole trip home, I just kept thinking about that. And if this is what a retreat is like, oh my God, ladies, I don't know how you do it, because this was 4 hours of fabulous. When I got home, there was a box waiting for me. I have to pause for just a moment because I have to go grab something. Okay, I'm back. I went and grabbed what I forgot to bring over here. When I got home from the meetup, there was a box waiting for me. A couple months ago, I had been contacted by a lady through Instagram. Her name is Cara, and her friend, I'm not good with names. I think her friend's name was Amanda. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. Anyway, they wanted to meet with me at Acorns and Threads. And so this was Saturday, and I agreed to meet up with them after work and had a fabulous day stitching with those ladies. Well, Cara was buying a bunch of different things, and one of the patterns that she was thinking of buying was Skeleton Crew. I had bought Skeleton Crew, I think the first time I ever went to Acorns and Threads, and it's a beautiful piece, but it's a big piece. And since then, I've looked at that many times and realized I'm just not going to stitch it. So when Cara Lee said that she wanted to get that, I said, don't buy it. I'll send you mine. If I'm not going to do it, I would rather send it on to someone who's going to do it, you know, instead of it just sitting upstairs doing nothing. Let me give it to you, and you can stitch it at your leisure. So when I got home, there's a box from her. And I opened it up, and there was this beautiful postcard in there and a lovely letter, and I will show you those in just a moment. But she had also sent me, she was the one that gave me the 2 chocolate frogs, and both of them had Salazar Slytherin cards in them. So she sent me 2 more. I'm saving these. My granddaughters will be over tomorrow, and I'm going to let them have the chocolate frogs. They have to give me the cards, unless it's Salazar Slytherin. I'm curious. I am really, really curious as to who's in these. And then there was some chewy fruities. Blood orange and honey. I'm a citrus girl. Orange, lemon, lime, my favorites. She sent me some washi tape. I've already used some. You'll see. I'm running out of places to put things. She sent me this cute little, it's going to be really, really hard to see. There, it's a cat on a little fob. She sent me a piece of fabric that she dyed herself. Oh my God. This is gorgeous. Gorgeous. I have no idea what I'm going to stitch on it yet. Cara Lee, this is gorgeous. And then she made something for me. I posted this on Instagram. When she had contacted me and said, hey, do you want to meet up? We struck up a conversation back and forth through Instagram just to get to know each other a little bit. And she likes doing things with paper. And she sent me to watch a YouTube video where they take books, and by cutting and shaping the pages, they can turn them into dioramas. And the one she had shown me, they had turned a book into a diorama of an apothecary shop. It was one of the coolest things that I've